theory were thought to be extraordinarily difficult to comprehend. British astronomer Sir Arthur Eddington.
And week 8 starts on a Friday, which actually completely threw me off because, as you'll notice here, when I unracked the bar, I realized I had forgotten to put on my Dodeca Mother shirt. And I was like, I'm a terrible sponsored athlete. Oh well, such is life, right? But I remember to put it on after the daily max on the bench, or the pause bench, I should say, and things started to move along once again. So anyway, this is week 8, and we are working 80% and 90% this week. First 3 days here are 80%. I found out this week that I'm going to have to make a slight schedule adjustment in terms of when my next test week is going to be. It was initially planned for the weekend of March 26, 27, whatever the actual days on that weekend are. It's going to have to be moved to the Tuesday, Wednesday right before then, so probably like the 23rd-ish. Reason being is that I have to go in for the old dreaded colonoscopy at the end of April, which is going to be like near the end of cycle 3. And in order to get the cycles to both be like at least 5 weeks, I just had to cut the end of cycle 2 to a little bit earlier to make it work out. And now I'm about to give you a taste of what it was like to grow up in Buffalo in the wintertime. Whenever it got above freezing, I would be tearing out of the house, something like this, tank top, possibly shorts on. My mother would be screaming at me, "You need to get some clothes on," but I say, "Mom, I have a ski hat on, so it's all good." We're having like a mini heat wave up here, so looks like spring is coming soon, so you're probably going to be seeing more tank tops, more shorts, that kind of thing coming up. I'm kind of dreading it though, because even when the house gets into like the 40s, it's like, oh man, it's so hot in here. Crazy. I was extra happy with this squat max attempt because I felt like it just went down with confidence and just powered right up, no problem, 285. That felt really good. The workouts got moved from Saturday, Sunday to Friday, Saturday, so that I could travel this weekend and go visit friends and have a great time. I gotta tell you though, I put in some work at the dinner table, and so my calories, I have no idea where I am. And what I've been doing since is that, since I came back and weighed in a good 3 pounds heavier, what I'm doing is just I cut like a good 60 grams of fat out of my daily numbers. And I'm just going to maintain that until the scale shows me something a little more normal. So basically, when I get back down to like the 125 range, because I weighed in on Monday post-workout at 127.8, so just about 128. And that's like basically another way you can handle the situation where you can't count. Because I went over 2 methods that I've used in the last video, and this time it's almost like taking a bunch of low days after having a couple of high days. So actually the main topic I want to discuss this week is actually an injury update. And normally that's like terrible news, and I'm on the mend for like 6 weeks before I can actually get back to real lifting. But at the beginning of this year, you may recall that I came back from Texas and was complaining that I was having a hip problem.
Don't worry about that stuff so much. I know that some of you guys are going to go, "Oh my God, but my hip hurts so bad." My hip has hurt since 2006.
I love Mark Bell when he does his little rants. He has good stuff to say about elbows too, if you've ever seen that, but it's definitely not safe to repeat on a G-rated channel here. But anyway, I started my stretching routine again, and after about 3 weeks of consistent stretching, the hip thing is basically went away, so that is great news. The other thing is, as you know, the back problems I was having. It's been about 3 or 4 weeks where I've steadily been doing the inversion therapy plus some other, things that I can do for my lower back to decompress the discs and relieve some of that pressure I've been having. Things are going great. I have to say that I would call it like 90% of the way there.
No pain, no pain, no pain, no pain, no pain.
Has anyone else ever noticed how less convinced Rocky seems in that clip than Duke does? Anyway, yeah, we're pretty much getting to the point where we're at no pain for both the back and the hip. And like I said, that's great because that's really motivating. And I'm taking the steps that I think need to be taken to ensure that those things don't happen. So moving into Tuesday, we're moving on to the 90% mini cycle of 3 days, although pistols are kind of on their own thing. What's funny about pistols? I count my body weight when I do pistols, but I don't count my body weight when I do like back squats or front squats, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure why I do that, but I just started doing it once, and that's what I've continued to do. I would actually recommend that to anybody. However you're counting, whatever, your volume, your, intensity, just even if it's kind of weird, like the difference between pistols and back squats for me, just be consistent, and it's a good way to, note if you're making progress or not. On this day, benching 200 was easy, and then I killed 180 for 8 sets of 2, again with no body explosion, which is a good thing. But of course, we are now moving on to the infamous Hump Day, my new favorite day of the week. And it's my favorite day of the week because I seem to come in and just kill the squats. It seems easier on Wednesdays for heavy squats than it does on Sunday, and kaboom! That's a good one right there. Tuesdays, having pistols as the squat movement, even when counting my body weight, the volume on Tuesday squats is just way lower. I mean, a good 50% to probably 60% lower than it is on the other squat days. And so, unlike Sunday, when I'm coming in the day after pause squats, coming in on Wednesday, it's almost like I had a mini taper on Tuesday, and so I think I'm a little bit fresher and ready to just kill the squats. That being said, however, going into Thursday, I definitely woke up that morning feeling like, ugh, what truck hit me? Good Lord. It wasn't too bad. Definitely got the workout done, but it took a little bit to get moving, you know what I mean? And speaking of Thursday, Thursday was actually the first day that I actually had a weigh-in under 126. The progression went, Monday I think it was 127.8, then Tuesday was 127 flat, and then Wednesday was 126.6, and then Thursday 125.8. So the salt bloat and food bloat was finally coming off the body and getting back down to more normal weight. And so, as you guys saw, I've survived another 3 days of higher volume 90%, looking to keep that momentum going. In the volume comparison this week, number 8 is compared to the most recent 80-90 week, which was week 4. And as you can see, in total, we're up about plus 10,000 pounds. And the total for this year so far is now up to 903,000 and change pounds. Definitely going over 1 million next week, so that'll be kind of a fun little milestone. No real change to the 2016 goals screen here. The only thing to note is that with the one-arm push-ups, I think I'm actually getting pretty close to doing a legitimate one, because when you practice them, you do them less difficult than like a real one, and slowly work on that, and then slowly get yourself closer to doing a legitimate one, which I think is going to happen in the next week or two, so that's kind of cool. And the metabolic update for the week, you can see the weight went up good pound and change. No big surprise there considering the epicness that went down last weekend. The actual on the macros looks a little weird there because I decided to just show you everything that I counted. And what you're seeing there is actually you're basically seeing the 5,000-ish calorie hole that I created to hopefully cover what happened last weekend. So anyway, next week we're going up to 2820 calories per day, and we're going to be back to counting as usual. Read that as it's going to be accurate. Take care, guys. See you next week.